Hello, welcome to a Blue Elephant Ventures video. I'm going to go over the cleanup of the Stanley Bailey No. 4 hand plane. When I got this, it didn't look like this. This took me about 8.5 hours to totally clean it up and get it to this state. The only thing that I haven't done is I haven't sharpened the blade yet. But it is cleaned up, the rust is removed, and it looks fairly nice. The handles, I thought most Stanley Baileys had rosewood handles. This is not rosewood, at least not to my knowledge it is. It's a lot lighter wood, so that was kind of a shock, but I do believe it's original. So, but I will say trying to scrape off the finish that they put on those handles was quite a task. However, the reason why I did that was because the finish was deteriorated. So, but it cleaned up well, and I like the different colored handles. It'll make it easily identifiable from the other Stanley Bailey that I have. And I would say that whoever had this plane before me took care of it. It was relatively easy to make the sole true and clean up. I didn't have to scrub as much as I have on other planes that I have gotten. So that was nice. That was really nice. To quickly go over cleaning this up, I took all the non-brass pieces and I put them in distilled vinegar and salt solution, which basically made kind of an acid bath. Soaked them for about 2 hours. I took a little piece of a metal polishing pad, scrubbed them down. I wore gloves, of course, right? You gotta wear gloves, especially with the acid. I don't want to eat my hands up. But basically I scrubbed it, and it really knocked the rust off. Kept them soaking for another couple hours because there was quite a bit of rust and dirt, and the acid solution just ate through it. So that took a lot less scrubbing on my part, and I like it. While those pieces were soaking, I focused on the main iron body, and how I did that was I used a piece of glass as a flat surface, and I used mounting tape to put sandpaper on top, and I used 80 grit automotive paint repair sandpaper, dent repair. It was 80 grit, and I pretty much scrubbed on it for about, I want to say, an hour and a half roughly, with taking breaks. You know, you scrub till you're tired, take a break, come back, scrub again. But it really didn't take that long at all. The other planes that I've done took a lot longer. And this one just flattened very nicely. From the 80 grit, I moved on to 180 grit automotive paper, and did the same thing. Just scrubbed on it, it flattened and cleaned up very nicely. From there, I took the pieces that were in the acid bath and I put them in another bath of baking soda and water, just to get the acid that was on it to neutralize. And I put the main body in the acid bath. I took the parts that soaked for about maybe 20 minutes in the baking soda solution, and I moved them over, dried them off, and while the main body was soaking in the acid bath, I basically soaked them with oil. All the parts that came out of the baking soda solution, I wiped them off, cleaned them up, and then I oiled them. The body, I think I let it soak for probably a good 2 hours, and that just chewed up all the dirt and the rust that was on it. It cleaned it up very nicely. I was very happy with the results afterwards. I did use the metal polishing pad to kind of, clean it up, scratch it up, scrub it, but it worked well. From there, I cleaned up the main body, and I used a 320 grit automotive. It's automotive sandpaper, and shined the sides, shined the bottom. It worked well, and it really made it look nice. The brass, I used stainless steel, fine, very, very fine steel wool, and I used a little bit of a polishing compound and polished the brass. And so I basically got all the pieces together, and then I was able to put it back together again, and you have what you see before you is a cleaned up hand plane. Overall, about 8.5 hours. It was a task. It was an easier task than the other hand planes that I've done, and so it made me happy. That didn't take as much effort and time. The acid bath helped quite a bit. That really cut the time down, and I'm glad I did that. But it still took, it took 8.5 hours to get it to this state. So if you're going to do it, good luck. I am tired of scrubbing on hand planes, so hopefully this is my last one. I may clean up a number 9 if I find one and the price is right. Then it's going to have to be really right for me to scrub on another one. Otherwise, I'm going to buy a new one. I'm going to buy a Wood River. The only other hand planes I'm thinking about getting is a number 62 and maybe a number 9 at some point. So those are the hand planes. This one is going to go into my arsenal, and I think I'll be able to get a lot of good use out of it. I hope in your journey that it is easier than mine. But for now, I'm going to sign off. I hope you got some good information on this video, and I hope it helps with your journey. So, Blue Elf Adventures signing off, and hope to see you on the next video. Thank you.